Okay, let's. Thank you to those that have joined on time. We will be starting in a few minutes, just letting everyone come through and join, and then I will start giving you access to also talk very shortly. For those that are joining, we will get started very shortly. I'm just allowing access for everyone to talk when we get started.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. We're going to get started in a few minutes. I'm just going to allow access to a few more people, and then I'll do that in the background because when you join Zoom, you're automatically not allowed or able to talk. It's a function we have at BMC, so I'm just putting you all on mute, ready to talk. Give me one more minute, and then we'll get started. And we will have people joining as we start the introductions. Okay, I think we'll get started, and apologies when I seem to put into the main presentation slide, it's not actually sharing my screen, it goes into a black screen, so I'll just start from introducing myself. Firstly, I'm Samantha Amond, I work for BMC as a program manager. Today's session is going to be on RC experts. Originally it was Helix ITSM, but we're also including SmartIT and Live Chat today, and I will introduce the rest of the panel shortly. I do have a few things to go through. We do have a legal notice that hopefully you would have received when you signed up. Just to mention that we will be recording this session today. The past webinars and RC expert sessions we were unable to share with customers, and I know that the content we discuss is very useful. So just be mindful that this is an interactive session, you will be recorded. So if you do need to leave and change your name, or there's something against your company policy, if you could just be aware, this is where we're going to be sharing it. It's going to be on the BMC community. We will also be sharing it on possibly some product pages and some of BMC's social media. So without further ado, I would like to hand over, while you're just reading this legal notice, to my host, Michelle Mazel, for an introduction, and then we'll just do a quick round of introductions and I will get started. Over to you, Michelle. I think you're on mute.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, my name is Michelle Mazel, and I am a technical support analyst here at BMC, going on 4 years now, working in SaaS support and supporting Helix ITSM and Helix ITSM Live Chat. I will hand over to my colleague, Orr, to introduce himself.
Thank you. Hey guys, I'm Orr. I'm from the Helix Virtual Agent or Chatbot team. I'm a developer there. Hopefully I could be of some help today. Mark, off to you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mark. I've been working with Remedy for best part of 25 years now, particularly with the Helix ITSM on-prem deployments over the past couple of years. On to Jim.
Hi, I'm Jim Eggles. I'm a principal software engineer with BMC. I've been with the chat product, both virtual agent, live agent, virtual chat for over a dozen years now. So, yep, hope we can help. Ram?
Hey everyone, this is Ram Gopal Rivuri. I'm a technical lead and SME for live chat application. I'm working with Jim and others to help all the customers on the new features, enhancements, bugs, customer issues. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks, Ram. And we will also be joined a little bit later by John Hall, our product manager, but he has got a clash of a meeting at the first 30 minutes or so. So he should be joining if you've got any roadmap questions. So without further ado, Michelle, if you just want to, I know we had one question early in the week, although it was DWP related, which is also a specialist area that you cover, it would be good as a starting point. And then I would just ask for those that have joined the call today as a customer or partner, if you do have any questions, there are a couple of options. You've got the Q&A section of Zoom. If you look into there, you can type your question in, we'll read it out. We will also read it out live and give you the opportunity to speak to us directly. If you do have a question, but you don't want to type it, maybe English isn't your first language, if you want to just put your hand up, we will come to you and answer the question. And then various content that we share. If there's any links at the end of this session, I will be sending a follow-up email over the next day or two with a thank you, which will give you the recording. We'll also share with you any content like links, also any decks or anything that we share will also come out on email, and also recommended training. What I would just say is this is very much an interactive session. So what we want to just make sure, being interactive, it means that as much as you want to give out and as much as you share with us, it will make it more interactive. We've got a team of experts here. And if there's anyone on here that can't answer the question, we will take it away and make sure we get a personal response back to you. And I will update a Q&A blog. So any questions that come from today will also be posted into the community. And just to recap, it's the Q&A section of Zoom. The chat function isn't something that we use at BMC, it's just the Q&A. And if you have any questions, let us know. Michelle, over to you for the first question.
Yes, so our first question came in and it is, we have recently migrated from 9.1 on-prem to Helix SaaS. During this process, the old SRM portals were migrated to Helix DWP portals, but I have noted some differences with these portals. Some of the DWP features, collaborators, for instance, is not available for my current portals. I'm also concerned on the ticket numbering. The current DWP tickets are numbered with an REQ prefix. If I create new portals for new customers, can I resume the same numbering system and sequence for the new portals too? And that question has been answered. The answer is, as an existing user of SRM, you are still entitled to SRM, so you can continue to use it. DWP is, however, offering a lot of new functionality and a modern user experience, and is where we do invest and where we deliver new functionality. In DWP, we offer not only a service request experience, but also a shopping experience with a cart into which you can add multiple line items before you submit the full order. To handle, there is a need to have an ID on the order itself and the line item. The feedback we've received regarding the REQ numbers is that they feel very technical and are long. We therefore decided to provide a short and simple number in DWP. If you want to retain the REQ numbers, you can still import SRM-based services and use them together with DWP catalog services, which will use old long REQ number format series. For new functionality, you can check our docs.bmc.com site and read the release notes, what's new section for each release. Taking the DWP trainings and certifications is another good option. You should be able to talk to your local BMC team to get some updates on what's new. We publish slides for each release that are available to our local teams that can be used to go through the new functionality we deliver.
I don't know if the person that asked the question isn't actually on today's meeting because it's a different time zone, but if anyone's got any other questions on that topic, do you feel free to chime in or ask a question? If not, I think Michelle will go to the next question. We have one from Ace Anonymous attendee. It's about migrating our environment, but I don't think it's a full question that's come in. And the other one is about the slide deck, which I'm going to just respond on.
Okay.
I would, if I were you, I would take the next question from Heng Ching Ting about the migration, and Mark's answering that. Do you want to read that one out while I just respond to the other questions? I think we can move on.
Okay. Next question. There's a plan to migrate on-prem ITSM to AWS Cloud. Is it possible to migrate the entire VM to AWS?
So yeah, I'll answer that live if you like. What is the current version of ITSM that we're talking about here? 2002? Are you looking to lift and shift the current version into AWS rather than upgrade to the latest version?
Heng, do you want to come off of mute?
Hi.
Hello.
Is 20.02.
Okay. If there isn't a facility to migrate the VMs, that's outside of BMC's remit. I'm not sure what facilities AWS provide for migration of systems into their cloud. The 21.3 release of Helix ITSM can be installed in an AWS system. You need to install Kubernetes in AWS, or you could use EKS, their Elastic container service, as an alternative. So there are native deployments that we can do into AWS. The migration of existing systems is not really something I don't think we can comment on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Heng,
Thank you.
Heng, while we've got you on muted, is there any other questions that you have around migration to the team?
So far, no.
Okay, well, feel free to put another question or raise your hand if you've got anything as we move along. Michelle, we've had a few more questions obviously come in since then. I'm just going to answer quickly live Asad's question around dashboard questions. We did actually have a dashboard session a few weeks ago. Asad, what I'll do is I'll share the link of where that content is. And also we have a dashboards group on communities that you can ask some of those questions, because I don't have any dashboard specialists on here. This is just Helix ITSM, SmartIT and Live Chat Chatbot. Okay, so I'll answer that question. So Michelle, the next question going down is from Dinesh.
Yes, so the next question is, for Chatbot, do we have any enhancement in roadmap where bot will learn on its own rather than administrator needs to manually modify the Watson assistant?
I can take that. I think I'd like you to be a little more specific, but I'll give a short answer meanwhile. As you know, right now, you are when you are the chatbot owner, you are in charge of developing your own chatbot skill on the Watson assistant, and you need to play with it if you want the chatbot to have new functionality, whether it add a new type of service or maybe just general chit chat. Okay, so when you say you want the bot to learn on its own, could you be a little more specific?
Okay, yeah. So when I say the bot should learn on its own, so that means, let's say I deployed a bot and the bot is live for, let's say, 5 to 6 months, and with certain bot or chats configured, we see that few things are not working. So what administrator needs to do is they need to go back into the IBM Watson Assistant and make the necessary changes. So rather than that, the real AI, what we are expecting is where bot will understand where it is going wrong and it will make the basic necessary changes rather than administrator needs to go back and make the changes. So it's like, I would say the behind the scene, it's actually not AI, right? We need to go in the back end and needs to make the manual modifications whenever required. So the bot should be able to study the data or get the data for over the period of time and then answer in that manner. That's what we are expecting.
Okay, so right now, because you are using the Watson Assistant, the Watson Assistant, what is good at is picking up intents from some kind of user input, and based on that, choose where to navigate the dialogue, okay? And based on positive or negative output, he can decide what is the future confidence for this kind of input to that kind of intent recognition, okay? So actual learning at real time is not something Watson Assistant specifically do, but you did ask about the roadmap. I didn't want to talk specifically about roadmap, but I will give a slight spoiler. We do plan to start working with LLM-based chatbots, but that's, like I said, it's kind of in the future, but we are going there. So, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Dinesh, do you have any other questions while you're unmuted?
I have for SmartIT. Related to dashboard. So currently we have the report URL configured in the SmartIT, right? So it will navigate to the smart reporting. So when we will migrate the reports to dashboard, what changes, or is it possible to change the reporting URL to dashboard, or we need some other way to navigate from SmartIT to dashboard?
Don't think we've got anyone on here because I did answer someone else's around dashboards. Mark, I'll probably ask for your help here. SmartIT to reporting. I thought it was just smart reporting as opposed to SmartIT. Am I correct? Because I'm not a product specialist.
Yeah, sorry, could you repeat the question?
So in SmartIT, in the report URL, when we click, we get navigated to smart reporting. When we will migrate the reports, smart reporting to dashboard, is there any way we can change that report URL from smart reporting to dashboard, or we need to use some other alternative?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know, but Sam, if we can make a note of that, I'll follow that up and we'll populate it into the Q&A afterwards, into the docs.
Yeah, I've just put that in there. And actually, Dinesh, I've answered one of the other participants' questions. We have actually got a dashboards page that those type of questions might be better for. We ran a dashboard session a month or so ago, and we've also got a session that was recorded last year around the migration tool. I'll drop a couple of links into this Q&A. And I'll catch up with you offline, because if that covers what you need, I'll make sure we share it to the rest of the people on here, because I know when you've got Helix ITSM, you typically have smart reporting or dashboards, and obviously we're going through a whole migration phase with customers. Okay, so I'll follow that up.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Mark. Pleasure. Okay, anything else before we go back into the chat?
Can I comment on that quick?
Yeah, go for it, Andreas. I saw your hand up. I'm guessing that's you weren't going to ask a question, you were going to contribute. Hello again.
Hey. So, I mean, maybe I really didn't understand the question, but there are two things. I mean, you can very easily add Helix dashboards to SmartIT. That's in the sense of that you have a link in SmartIT and you click on the link and then you will be redirected to Helix dashboards. I mean, this is just a config parameter. You add the dashboard URL and it will show up in SmartIT. You can click on there. But maybe you mean something else. Maybe you mean that the smart reporting URL, the current smart reporting URL will redirect to Helix dashboards. And I mean, this is something I guess somebody could build. but from my understanding, this would definitely be not out of the box functionality, because there are like two separate software stacks, and I mean, they don't know each other, and you would have to build something to actually get this functionality. And I don't know if this would be worth it.
Okay, thanks for that input. We'll go back to our Q&A now. We are about to migrate our environment to Helix 21.3.06 on-prem, and we have got a lot of complaints about long URLs. We're thinking about setting up a new URL like smartit.abc.com and add it to the RSSO realm and the ingress, but are afraid that the ingress change will be overwritten. Is this a fair concern? Or won't the ingress be overwritten during upgrades, patching, and so on?
Yeah, I can take that. Patrick, yes, you're thinking along the right lines. Rather than updating one of the existing ingresses, I would recommend you create a new one. So copy the existing ingress and just change the host and add that as a new ingress in the namespace for your preferred URL, and then it won't be touched by future upgrades. You're also correct. You need to remember to add it to the RSSO realm so that it can get validated correctly. Another option would be to, if you have a load balancer that's capable of rewriting headers, to rewrite the host header in the URL of the incoming requests, to map it to the original product URL. That would work. One thing to be aware of is that once you're into the application, so for example, if you're clicking on a link to take you into a knowledge base or something that generates a URL within the application to launch you into another part of the system, that will still use the original out of the box URLs. Those haven't been updated, so they still need to be resolvable as far as your clients are concerned. But certainly for the initial logins, you can set up new ones. If that helps.
Great. Yes, sure. Thank you very much. Great answer.
Any other questions?
Not for now.
Okay, thank you. Michelle, we have the next one, I think, is the Pentaho question. I've just gone out to our CMDB team and development, because I'm not sure if we've got someone on this team that can answer that specific question, and we're running an RC expert session at the end of this month that we may also cover this off. So I guess I would just give the opportunity to our team, if you want to just read out the question, see if we've got anyone on here that can answer it. If not, I'll try to come back before the end of this session today.
Okay.
Andreas's question, actually. It was Andreas.
Yes. So the embedded Pentaho framework is outdated for a couple years now. Please share the current status of this topic. Will BMC be able to update it to a current version soon?
Okay, so one of my specialists from Premier Support actually has just this instant responded back and said it's very unlikely we would have to set up some BMC steps. So I'm just getting some responses back and I'll formulate that for you, Andreas, okay? I'll reply back in the Q&A section when I've got the full response for you. I don't know if you wanted to add anything to it, Andreas.
Yeah, sounds good, thank you. I mean,
no worries.
It is not, I mean, the Pentaho framework is not really only CMDB. I mean, sure. I mean, there is a heavy focus for the Pentaho framework used in CMDB for load jobs and so on. But I mean, the Pentaho framework is also used in the ITSM context for loading foundation data, for example. So that's why this is also correctly put in this round, because I mean, it touches both. It touches both. It touches CMDB and ITSM. So I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I will get you an answer. I'm just having a chat with him in the background. Apologies, because we're not always sure what questions. Obviously, with the Helix ITSM suite, you could pull in so many different experts and I'd end up with a panel of 20. But I will certainly go away and get that full response for you, Andreas. Okay. Back to you, Michelle.
Okay, thanks. Our next question is regarding migration. Looking for recommendations about migration from 9.1 to last on-prem version. Can we jump in one step, or should I use an intermediate version? Estimated time in weeks or months.
Sounds like another one I might be able to help with. Technically, it is possible to upgrade from 9.1 straight to the containerized versions, but we recommend that you do it from 2002. There's a complex process for migrating data into the system, your existing data, using the HDM, the Helix Data Manager tool, data migrator tool, with which you will need some help from BMC professional services, unless you're an experienced user already. Whilst technically possible, it would be better to do from 2002. In terms of how long it would take, again, it's not really possible to say. It depends largely, or depends on the amount of experience you have with containers and Kubernetes. Are you going to have to learn how that works? Are you skilled with HDM or any of its predecessors to help you with the migration? The best thing to do will be to raise a case with support as part of the Amigo program, and we can help look at what you have, what you know, and make recommendations based on that.
Thanks, Mark. Does that answer your question? I think because it's anonymous, I don't know if that person's still on the call, or maybe they don't want to speak, but if that does answer your question, if you could just reply back and say thanks, so we know that that's covered the question. Okay.
Okay.
Michelle?
Okay, next question. Following on from the question regarding migration to Microsoft Azure, we are looking to migrate from our private cloud to Microsoft Azure Cloud with 2002 before upgrading to a later container build. In regards database, can we use a managed Microsoft SaaS for SQL DB option, Azure SQL database, or Azure SQL managed instance? Or do we need to stand up our own servers, SQL Server or Azure VMs? Mark, is that something you can answer?
I'll give that one a go as well. The supported databases for the 21.x releases are listed in the system requirements on the documentation page. It's Postgres, Oracle, and MS SQL, various versions. It may well work with some of the vendors' cloud-specific versions. Aurora, for example, is a Postgres version used by Amazon, I believe, that I know we work with, but they would be considered as unconfirmed systems. So we would expect them to work as long as the databases behave as a native SQL server would, for example, but we haven't explicitly validated them. But we would consider them unconfirmed and supported under those conditions. I think that was another anonymous one, so we may not get a response.
Okay, if the person that's asked those questions does want to speak, please raise your hand or feel free to take yourself off mute. But thank you, Mark, for answering that question.
Okay, we'll continue in our Q&A. Next question, field label is only bold format on edit mode, but it is normal format on search mode. This is observed on all the ITSM modules, links, incident, change, work order, and problem. For example, work order form summary, status, status reason, priority, and customer are bold format on edit mode. But when we see these fields on search mode, all the fields are showing as normal on SmartIT. This came from Pandy. What version are you on?
.3 versions, and this is like we are observing that the different formats in search mode and edit mode. What we are looking for, we want to make the label is bold on even in the search mode also, but the labels are it showing is normal. But even when we enable it in the dev studios, also like it's not getting reflected. This we need suggestion like how we can enable the label is bold on search mode.
Okay, yeah, not sure about that, enabling that for search mode, but I can certainly take that offline and get back to you.
Thank you.
Did you have any other questions?
No, thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. Our next question. Hi, I am on SmartIT 21.03. Is there something I need to do for the chat I initiated from a ticket be captured or visible on the SmartIT activity tab? I'm not sure I understand the question.
Yeah,
Jim,
Michelle,
do you?
I don't quite, I'm not sure if they mean, is the chat visible on the ticket, or is the ticket visible in the SmartIT Activity Lab? If it's a second, yes, it should be. If you create a ticket from chat, and it should be visible in the SmartIT Activity tab. I'm not sure about if it's the other way. If you want to know if the chat is visible in the ticket, it is. It would be in the notes field under chat transcript, I believe, over in the resources tab, I think. Is that right, Rob?
Right.
That's correct. Yeah, it should be visible. Like even if the chart is initiated from a ticket, it should be visible under activity tab.
Does that answer your question? Oh, that's an anonymous one too.
It's from an anonymous attendee. Okay. So not sure if they want to speak. Sam, we do have a hand raised.
Yes, Cyril, I can see that you've raised your hand and come off of mute. Would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, I'm the one who posted the chart on SmartIT ticket. So this
okay,
is
thank you.
Yeah, so this a chart that I initiated from a ticket. Let's say I'm chatting about this ticket, but when I exit from the chart, I was expecting to see all that conversation on the activity of a ticket, but it doesn't show currently.
Yeah, the chat transcript should get attached to the ticket. If it's not, then maybe we have something going wrong.
Yes, you can open a support case and we can look at this further if you're not seeing the chat activity.
Okay, I'll do that. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Cyril, did you ask the other questions as well? They may have been from someone else, but were they yours too?
No,
ones earlier.
Only
Okay.
that one. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Do you have any? Yeah. Do you have any other questions while you're unmuted? And thanks for coming forward.
No, not currently. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Michelle, back to you.
Okay, our next question is, AR Insight is not working properly after release 21.x. The program stops while the schemas are initialized. We made some stuff in the source code and got passed through it, but the program stops again while the message lists are initializing. Do you have any information or tips on how to fix it? I know AR Insight is not an official BMC product, but I know that some people of the BMC team have already contributed something on the source code.
I'll take that one as well. I think the best route is probably via the communities. There are several people I can think of that would likely engage with that kind of conversation. The other possibility would be if you can narrow it down to a particular Remedy API call that has an issue, that would be a valid support case if you found something that's misbehaving. It would be the other way of looking at it. That was from Marcus, if he's around.
Yes, I'm here. We already tried to talk in the community, but we didn't got really further with that.
Okay, well, I will. I'll see if I can find the posting. I think it's in the is it in the AI system group, Remedy AI system group? I think I recall it. There are a couple of people internally that I will I'll contact and maybe ask them to take a look. But as you say, it's not a supported product, so it's relying on the sort of the best efforts of the people that have time to have a look.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Laurent about it, and I mean, he said he will. I mean, he's saying for a couple of months now that he will take a look at it, and we are waiting on that, and maybe somebody else can look into it before that. I mean, sure, it is the best effort, and yeah, I mean, we are trying our best effort from our side to actually get it working, but I mean, it is a very complex old code base, and yeah, I mean, any help is appreciated.
Yeah, I may say if you can isolate a particular API call that's having an issue, that would make it possible as a reproducible test case that we could actually work on.
That for Marcus and Andreas, I guess if both of them have got commentary on it, and if you could actually point us to the post, it might be quicker, and then we can go and follow up, Marcus and Andreas. Or drop me a message.
Okay, we'll continue with our Q&A. Next question, does BMC OAuth 2.0 support calling it from PowerShell script? Not sure about this one, but we can definitely take this offline and get an answer to you, Dinesh.
Okay, no problem.
I don't think we've got anyone that can answer that question, right? Just checking at the panelists.
Right, I'll take that one offline and get back to Dinesh.
Okay, thanks, Michelle.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes, does BMC OAuth 2.0 support calling it from PowerShell script?
I mean, we have been using the REST API from PowerShell. I guess we didn't use it via OAuth. We just I don't know why you were having this OAuth requirement. I mean, I know that if you just call the normal login endpoint and get your token, I mean, it will work totally fine. I'm not so sure about the OAuth part. I mean, I guess that has to be checked.
Yeah, so basically we are integrating SCOM with BMC for ticket generation, and SCOM has asked for this particular requirement about authentication. So we enabled the authentication, and we tested, or we are testing it from the PowerShell scripts. But I see the documentation, and it does not mention which are the supported third-party tools or the programming languages from which it can be called or it cannot be called. So we are in a state, confusing state where it is really supported or we are making some mistake.
I mean, touching on the OAuth part, I mean, it's there is a great video. I mean, there's actually a great video about the whole OAuth part, because it is really not trivial to get OAuth working. I think I've done it once so far, and only because there is a video by BMC support which actually shows the whole process of setting up the whole OAuth thing, and then then it works. But I mean, I don't know if you ever stumbled across this video, but this helped me a lot. And
yeah,
I mean,
it's not like calling from the, it's not from calling from the postman, okay, third-party tool. I actually want the REST API from the PowerShell script. So the video doesn't, I saw the video and I checked the knowledge articles as well, but it doesn't mention it shows some POCs for calling it from Postman, but it does not actually mention what are the limitations.
Alrighty. Okay. Gotcha.
So I'm guessing, Michelle, we still need to follow up on this question.
Yes.
Probably the best thing. Thanks, Andreas. Was that link, Andreas, for Dinesh? Just checking that you posted something in the chat.
Yeah, just posted the Area Insight link and now
Okay.
the all-out video. Maybe somebody else is interested.
Thank you. I'm just posting it in so it goes in with the question. Thanks for that. And the YouTube. Okay.
So those are all the questions in the Q&A.
Yes. So we've got John Hall's joined us, our product manager for Helix ITSM. So I don't know if there's in the audience today of the attendees, if you've got any roadmap type questions. John, I don't know if you want to say hello and if you've got anything to share as well. Hi.
No, I mean, obviously, we, at a high level, the roadmap's focused very much on kind of developing. There's a couple of things, developing the ITSM user interface further. So we have plans to finalize the progressive web app transformation for things like release and knowledge management. We are also investing further in the AI-driven service management stuff, of course. So, you've already seen things like proactive problem management and the major incident management. We're moving on to areas that are even more advanced than that now. So, we have things coming up like not just detection of major incidents, but proposing remediation and detecting them before they happen. So there's some interesting stuff there. Then there's a lot of interesting things happening around DevOps and change enablement. So we've got some really cool stuff coming up, almost demoable soon. The team are telling me it'll be demoable in the next few weeks, demonstratable in the next 2 weeks or so, few weeks or so. And that's actually around really dynamic change risk analysis and change risk analysis. And a big part of the goal there is to sort of help DevOps to grow in large, complex enterprises where the challenges of an enterprise doing DevOps are very different to the challenges of a startup doing DevOps because you have complexity and you have regulation. So a lot of that work is focused on giving that confidence in the organization that you have visibility of what's going on and can assess the broad, big picture risk. While the DevOps teams may be very good at maintaining their own code drops into their own application, what is the bigger picture, the bigger risk, and on the dependent services and things, automating that process and really letting DevOps fly with a lot more organizational confidence. So there are a lot of topics there. As always, I'm happy to kind of set up meetings, and what I'll do is right away, I'm just going to put my direct email in the chat. So I'll just go all at bmc.com. You're very, very welcome to get in touch. If we can set up any roadmap session, any conversation on any of these things, or just in general, please do get in touch. There's only so much we can do right now in the time we have, of course, but although I'm very happy to be here to help. But we always try and be very engaged, very close. Most of the people on this call are probably seen as the representatives of our tools at your own organizations. So please feel free to call on the support of the product team and drop me a direct email if you need to, okay?
Thank you, John. And obviously, you and I will be working together to get a roadmap session put in. So if everyone does keep an eye on the Helix webinar page, we'll send that out. So we don't have any further questions at the moment. I just want to open up the floor. We've covered off a little bit of live chat. We've also covered off a few roadmap conversations, and obviously Mark's helped with some migration stuff. Does anyone else have any general questions? We have experienced professionals here with experience of Helix ITSM, SmartIT, DWP, Classic ITSM, and then we've also got live chat chatbot. So if anyone's got any questions, please raise your hand. We have about 15 or so minutes left. If we don't have any further questions, then we will close the call down a little bit early. So I'll just give people a few minutes to have a think if there's anything else you'd like to ask the team.
Hi.
Okay, Madhu, hello. Thank you for raising your hand.
Yeah, just want to know that, what exactly the integration, existing integrations providing BMC for Helix chat bots. Is there any integrations? Because last time I understand that there are some are deprecated. Now, what are the existing now?
Well, it's kind of a general question. Maybe you want to ask what you want to integrate to, because Chatbot is integrated to a lot of stuff. It's integrated to the WP, to SmartIT for the live chat, to the catalog. You can integrate it to possibly any API you want to use. Okay, you can call any API we can from the Chatbot. So, do you have anything specific in mind?
Well, like virtual agent can integrate with other kind of thing, existing, it was Skype they removed, I think, recently. Something Teams also they removed, but now existing virtual agent is can be with Slack. I think Slack can be integrated, like Chatbot can be integrated with this kind of interfaces or something like that. Can it be?
Correct. Right now we are integrated to Slack, Teams. I'm not sure why you said it was removed. We still support Teams integration, Chatbot through Twilio.
I understand from recent update that Teams has been removed because of Microsoft issue something. I think it's there is an update basically. I can share the details if you want.
Maybe you're talking about what was it called?
ITSM? Is this the ITSM chat ups we're talking about?
No, Chatbot actually I can share you the link right away if you want. But the thing is that it's been deprecated. There is a message from the.
I think you're confusing this. I don't remember the exact name because it's a Microsoft product. Either Developer Studio or something like that. That was deprecated, but BMC Chatbot is still integrated to whatever channel you want to use it through. We have customers who use it through the Teams channel. Some use it with Twilio to WhatsApp. Okay, and Slack as well, like you said. These are the main channels our customer use. It's not deprecated. You can still use it through the Microsoft Teams app.
You can see my link. I think this is the Chatbot deprecated continued version actually. So it's in that.
I'll open it.
Yeah. Microsoft Teams deprecated. That's already January 2022.
Okay, let's read together. They deprecated the App Studio. The App Studio was deprecated. That means we had to run through some hoops to make it achievable with the developer portal. Okay, the functionality was moved to the developer portal, but it's still supported. Okay.
Okay.
If you need help to integrate your bot to the Teams channel, we can help you with that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Madhu. If you've got any further questions, if you want to write on the communities page, we can always, as or said to you, find someone that can help assist or do it through support.
Sure.
Any other questions?
Samantha, there's a new question in the Q&A.
Yeah, we've also got a hand raise. The hand raise came first, so we'll just go to Cyril. Cyril, did you mean to put your hand up? Did you have another question? Then we'll go to the Q&A.
Yeah, thank you. Just one last question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on SmartIT, whenever I need to perform bulk actions like bulk assign or bulk resolve of incidents, it seems like every time when I click on the top checkbox where I need all the tickets that I've searched to be reassigned or to bulk resolve them, it seems like it selects only the first 75 tickets. So if I have more than that, I have to do the first 75 and then move to the next batch. Is that how it's supposed to work? Let's say I have 100.
That's the default configuration. I believe, I need to double check this, but we obviously have to maintain certain limits on these things because a lot of workflow processing can happen with that assignment. Obviously, you configure a lot of child processes there. So that's why we tend to have ceilings on these things. But if I remember rightly, there's a CCS setting to to update that if you want to. So we can come back on that specific thing, but that's the reason, okay? Because obviously you can have a lot of stuff kicked off by things like bulk actions.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks so much.
And on the other question, I noticed that the Q&A, it's asking about ITSM and mobile friendliness. If that's, should we take that one now, Samantha?
Yes, please. Yeah, if you want to read it out, actually, Bob's question.
Yeah, I will do. Sorry, I've just managed to close the window. There we go. Q&A. So do we have a sense before how long before SmartIT will be natively mobile friendly with responsive design? PWA tickets are available for most ticket types. Now, guess what? It already is. We did some clever stuff. Can I just share a screen? That might be the easiest. Let me just
yes, you can share.
Email. Share. Let me just try and share. Wherever it's gone. No, don't even see it. I'm just going to share my desktop. There we go. So, for this, what I should be able to do with this plugin, Mobile Simulator. I've only got a free version of this, so you might see some adverts. But anyway, what we did with the 22 releases, we've changed it with cascading style sheets so that these forms work. So you can then integrate with the actual responsive screens like Incident. But and again, this is just a demo environment I jumped on, so I've not cached anything. So those are the responsive screens. They work as they did before. But what you saw me do there was start from the console. Okay, so that is actually working for mobile, and things like and for knowledge as well. We did the same thing for knowledge. So you can when there are knowledge articles associated, you can actually open them up on mobile. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a good example of that here. So anyway, yeah, basically the idea is it should actually, some of the screens are not perfect, like the old knowledge console and things, but in terms of the actual ticket console, that works. In terms of most of the progressive forms, they work. So it's basically been wrangled to work pretty nicely on mobile. Now we are, as you said in the question, we are going for a new console screen very soon, also release, and knowledge will come into progressive web apps, so they'll be fully covered. But right now, you shouldn't be worried about getting going. Just get it working on mobile. Give it a go. Okay.
Bob, does that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks, John. We're on 21.3 right now, so I wasn't aware
I
that
think
22.
I'm just trying to remember exactly when we did it. I'm sorry, I should know this off the top of my head, but there's a lot of things I have to know. Sometimes my brain forgets the specific version. It may have been 21.3 we did this in. I'm just frantically trying to look this up before the time runs out. So I will respond on that one in the Q&A, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, John. And Michelle, do you want to read that? We've got a question from Dinesh. He's also put his hand as a raise, but the question's in the Q&A.
Yes. From live chat, DWP, unsupported attachment gets passed as a zip file in respective SmartIT ticket. Is there any way to restrict it from getting passed as a zip? Dinesh, do you want to elaborate on that question?
Yeah. So basically, when we attach any unsupported attachment, okay, and try to pass it from live chat, it gets passed as .zip. It should not get passed from DWP live chat to ticket, right? As it is unsupported. The other way around, from SmartIT console to DWP, doesn't get passed. So when I say SmartIT Live Chat console or agent console, it doesn't get passed. It says it's unsupported and the send button is disabled, but it doesn't happen for DWP from DWP Live Chat.
Sure, Mahesh. I think I can answer this one. From SSP side, we are still allowing the unsupported file and it is being converted to zip. I think we can take it up and probably we can enhance the product. And to basically suppress that kind of zip, or maybe we can provide an option for the customers to turn it off. So I think definitely we'll work on that. We'll work on it. We'll put it on the roadmap.
So is it enhancement or it's a defect, right? It should be defect.
I need to go back and see. like what was the original requirements and everything. So yeah, definitely. But either way, like we will address it in upcoming release.
I already have a support case raised for this, and support is working on that. So I think we can take up ahead with the support case.
Sure, definitely.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ram, and thanks, Dinesh, for your question. Okay, so Ram, if you can just reply into the chat, so we've got that one finalised and that's been taken out the Q&A, and we can populate all the Q&A today. That's all the questions we've got. We've got 5 minutes left. I don't want to force anyone if you don't have any further questions, but hopefully you found this session helpful. Between myself, Michelle, and the team, we will correlate all the answers and we'll put them into a Q&A on the community page. And additionally, we will also send out the recording. Any links that have been shared today will populate. So if you can give us a few days to do that. And if you do have any further questions for the next couple of days, feel free to respond on the actual community announcement post, and we'll endeavour to answer those. If in doubt, you have got obviously BMC support. We are working also with champions in the community. So if you are struggling with questions getting answered, feel free to reach out to me. My digital support team actually manage the community, and we're trying to look for more community ambassadors to help answer these questions a lot quicker. So yes, if you've got any concerns, do let us know. I think that's it, Michelle. I think we can say that's a wrap. So thank you to yourself and the panelists for joining and helping answer all the questions we've had from today. It's been a very interactive session. Hope everyone else enjoyed it. When you do get the survey link out to the attendees, if you can fill it in, let us know if there's any other sessions you'd like to see or hear from. We can't guarantee everything. We do have a backlog of requests, but we do look at all of the requests that come in. And if we haven't already got documentation out there, the other options are we do create how-to videos that's on our YouTube channels. I will make sure that I share that out into the thank you link and email as well. So without further ado, thank you everyone for attending. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.